Guys, how y'all doing today? Hopefully well. Well, more renounce U.S. citizenship but deny tax evader stereotype. We're starting to see more and more people, wealthy Americans, jumping ship. They have been able to read between the lines and probably given advice from their financial managers to do so, but they don't want to, have the stereotype of being jumping ship because they owe money. And you can't really blame them. But I guarantee that's exactly the deal. And it's going to get worse. This is just from last year. There's a bit that goes into renunciation of citizenship. It's not an easy process. They can't never get their citizenship back once they've renounced it. One lady said that she came out of the courthouse and immediately threw up after doing so. They do not want to do this, but they see no other recourse. The IRS is coming after everything they've got, and they know that they are going to be paying a lot, especially since it's being compiled from 2010. They lose their passport. They lose money. Oh yeah, by the way, they are taxed out the door. There's a tax for saying goodbye, the final kick in the ass. It's a shame. It is a shame that we have citizens who love this country, but yet feel that they have to leave. They see what's going down. Here's an example of a passport that has been canceled. So, we're definitely starting to feel it. Or, I should say, the wealthiest Americans are feeling it. They're making hard choices, hard decisions, and they don't really know what to do. They'd like to stay, but, man. This is the a graph here, and you can see the spike going up just from 2008. They saw what was coming. This is the national debt from 1940 to the present. I don't think this was created in 2014 because it doesn't go that far. But as you can see, the national debt just skyrockets, especially from 1980 to 2005, 6, 7, 8. 2008 just goes through the roof. And I'd like to see this graph inlaid going up to 2014, because I guarantee you it'd go up through, it'd shoot through the top of the thing here. Oh. See you later. Number of people renouncing their U.S. citizenship. Here's 2011. 1,800 people a year. In 2010 was 1,500. The year this bill was being talked about and they knew it was going to pass was about 750. The year the bill passed, it shot up. I should say it doubled. And it has gone even higher. It has doubled again from more recent graphs, which I will show you. Almost 3,000. Almost 3,000. Like I say, double from 2010. The IRS has become an out of control pit bull that has been mistreated and tortured and used for fighting. When they release it onto the American public, it bites people. It kills children. It does things that normal dogs don't do. It goes after people that normal dogs don't go after. And it is being fed more and more. We know it's going after conservative groups, Tea Party groups, anybody that's supporters of the Constitution, the NRA. That's just ridiculous. There's another graph. Another one. It's interesting to me here how down here it says Department of Homeland Security on this certificate for becoming a citizen. Department of Homeland Security. That is interesting to me. Here's a Superman clipping. Which is why I intend to speak before the United Nations tomorrow and inform them that I am renouncing my U.S. citizenship. What? That's the spook CIA guy. What? I'm tired of having my actions construed as instruments of U.S. policy. Truth, justice, and the American way is not enough anymore. And it's even become worse than that, Superman. Leaving United States, pay exit tax ahead. Yep, exit tax. We're going to shake all we can for you before you go out the door. Tax departure here. Or I'm sorry, departure tax here for leaving the U.S. You know, and this is part of it too. When did this become this? I mean, they see the writing on the wall. They see what's coming down the line. And they don't like it. No, they don't like it. They see what our handlers are doing to this country. tax for the memories. Adios. Just some graphs, some I want you to see this. This is NATO, Common Funded Budget and Programs. Cost share arrangements valid from 2012 to 2013. The United States. Civil budget. Military budget. It is more than any of them. NSIP. Which I don't know what that means, but the U.S. tops them out. Germany's coming in close behind us, which they're doing the same thing in. Also, everybody knows that the United States has a big hand in Germany. And coming in third looks like it's the United Kingdom and France, which is all allies to the United States, strong allies. Tax return 2012. They see the writing on the wall. I like that. Sovereign world territory. Here's just some things that I put down. When did we let this happen? This is international migrants in 2013. 1 million or more migrants. United States and North America, 1 million or more. Which we know the number and be in millions and millions. Year of climate departure for world cities. Thought that was interesting. Good job, little buddy. We're doing it. We're changing the United States. You can see this kid is like, oh man. I don't know that he's happy to be there. And these two are pushing it as far as they can push it. I don't know if they intend on running the train off the tracks, but it seems that they are. We're going to party like it's 1773. That's exactly what we need to do. What has happened to us, people? What has happened to us as a country? Have we lost our fortitude? Have we lost our guts? Our what for? Our spine? What has happened to us? Why more Americans are renouncing U.S. citizenship? Again, it states here, it's the taxes. It's the whole thing dealing with the taxes. The Fatca has a big deal about this. It's a major reason why. Americans renouncing citizenship up to 221%. All abroad, the Fatca Express. All aboard the Fatca Express. It's exactly it, you know? Exactly it. And they can never come back. They're leaving their families and stuff. I mean, you know, you think that they really want to do this? No. But they don't see no other choice. I mean, they went overseas so they could continue making money. And you saw that. Tina Turner was one of them. There's some big names that are leaving the United States. Here's a little thing about the Boston Tea Party. Thought was interesting. Yeah, what has happened to us, guys? From 1773, Americans got pissed off because of a tea tax. Taxation without representation is exactly what this was about. They got pissed. Now, I think they did it wrong. The wrong way they did it is dressed up as an American Indians and tried to pull that one off. But it didn't take a genius to realize that they weren't real Indians. You know, but they tried to pull that crap off. The Culpeper Minutemen, liberty or death. Don't tread on me. You don't step on a rattlesnake and not expect for it to bite you. Fellow American citizens, we have been stepped on, but we have not bit back. We have not bitten back. So this doesn't apply to us anymore? What has happened to us as Americans? We're taxed for everything, from you name it. We're taxed on it. We're now going to be taxed for everything we do on the internet. Here's some older clippings from that era. I thought was pretty interesting. And this one, I don't know if you can even read it, but I hope you can. Just a kind of a little story on it. Yeah, what has happened to us? We need to have another Boston Tea Party. But it's just not boxes of tea. It's everything, guys. This is what happened. This is what became of the Boston Tea Party. Be it remembered that on 17th day of October, 1781, Lieutenant General Charles Earl Cornwallis, with above 5,000 British troops, surrendered themselves prisoners of war to His Excellency General George Washington, Commander-in-Chief of the Allied Forces of France and America. There was a friggin' war fought over this whole thing. I mean, not just about this. This was a big part of it, though. A friggin' war. But what do? What have we allowed to happen to us? Taxes have encroached upon us to the extreme. And these people had roads. They had all kinds of stuff. They had all kinds of ways to get places. They had commerce. They had things. They had all kinds of stuff that they needed. And when the state needed something, they were provided the money. I see them tearing up parts of the road and putting in a new one for no reason. There's nothing wrong with the old road. Why are they doing that? So it can keep those guys working is why. When it's not necessary, and that's our tax money going to waste. Our tax money goes to waste on things that's unthinkable, unbearable to think about. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, I can't bear to think about the stuff that goes to waste, that our tax money we pay in goes to waste and goes to other countries. Abortions? I mean, wars? I mean, my gosh, when does it stop, guys? We need to get back our country. I'm not saying stop paying your taxes, but think about it. Think about it. If it was 1773, these guys would have probably dropped dead of a heart attack to realize what has become of the United States. They'd have fought war over war over war about what's going on with us right now. They would absolutely flip out. And our Constitution, our beloved Constitution, we're watching it dwindle before our eyes. And the things that it says becoming meaningless for the corporations. This is somewhat a reenactment of the Boston Tea Party. And they got a couple of people that showed up. What a shame. What a frickin' shame that is. Used to be, we used to have postage stamps that commemorated the Boston Tea Party. But that ain't been for quite some time now. You see, the IRS wants us to forget about the Boston Tea Party. They don't want us to remember that for nothing. Lest we forget. We need to be reminded every day lest we forget. New Boston Tea Party, a call to arms. That's right. Lest we forget. They're trying to kick a man off his land for having his cattle on land that produces absolutely nothing. That is no use to anyone but this man who has pumped water all over the place to provide for his cattle and put out various hay and this and that here and there, salt blocks, done the necessary things to keep them in that general area, who's worked at it, gone and seen to the animals that are in trouble and provided a veterinary for them, and who has paid his state fees. It's the federal fees that he has a problem. It's paying twice that he's got a problem with, and I don't blame him. He remembers the Boston Tea Party. He's been taxed enough already, and he's sick of it. So he put his foot down. Now he's labeled a racist. There's more than 6 million Americans living abroad. July 1st, 2014, those 6 million Americans will have the IRS involved with any bank they do business with. This Fatca bill crammed into the hiring bill is going to financially ruin us, U.S., to where Superman wants to just leave. If there was such a man, maybe he'd go up in there and kick some ass and take some names and put them on to justice. We need to put in check some of our Supreme Court justices. We're having world wars, expending money worldwide, looking for men that fit this profile right here. Why? Because they look different than us? Because they have different beliefs than us? I don't know that I buy all the crap that they feed us on the news. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that, guys. Things you may be asked when your tax situation. If the people from 1773 was asked this kind of stuff, they'd have went through the roof. Taxed for the memories. Which brings us to this in the end. Guys, I love our country. I just want the best for our country and its people. I hate to see people having to give up their citizenship, renounce their citizenship for this country, all because the IRS has become too greedy, overstepped its bounds, and has become an absolute monster. But it's the monster nobody wants to deal with. And I'm on the wrong thing here. I didn't know Starbucks served alcohol. But then again, I don't go to Starbucks anyways. I don't drink coffee. Well, for heaven's sakes, I can't seem to find that daggum. That one. It's giving me troubles. But anyways, guys, you know, I hate to see that going on. Remember what happened in 1773 in Boston. Taxation without representation. They threw the whole shipment of tea overboard. They lost out on what they was going to be drinking for the next 6 months, but it was worth it to them. It was worth it to them. And they'd do it again in a heartbeat. I hope everyone's well, having a great day. Never give up your guns. Our Second Amendment is so precious. It is the only thing that stands between us and total tyranny. It protects our First Amendment and our last amendment and all the amendments in between. It protects our loved ones, our family, our friends. It protects us from evil and from those who intend in doing us harm. It protects us from tyranny, from a tyrannical dictatorship or an unlawful federation that intends on doing us harm and enslaving us. God bless and good luck to us all. This is Chatty Dad 1 over and out.